Big ideas start with a spark. At Tassi's, we use that spark to ignite the fire in ourselves and our kids. So with the trust we build and the knowledge we share, we can grow together and stand tall, creating opportunities to advance in business while setting an example for the next generation. Whether you are starting fresh in Portugal or expanding globally, we're here to support each other. This is more than a network. We are a community that sets the examples for the leaders of tomorrow.
Hi, Limor. Thank you so much for being here. I guess the inevitable question that I have to ask is when people say the word robots, I think R2D2 comes to mind and big moving metal objects. What does the word robot mean to you?
A robot means to me it's a tool. So we have automation around us. A dishwasher is an upgrade from somebody washing the dishes. So robots are just fancy because they move around and they have we project anim it's called. It's like we animate them. We think that they are, but actually it's a washing machine with wheels or with legs. So it's a tool for a purpose typically, and the purpose can be entertainment, can be utilitarian, or can be threatening.
Do you think that with that being threatening, do you think there's a line at which robots should not be interfering in either day-to-day life or around the world on a global scale?
Yeah, I think that humanism should stay for humans. So if you're a psychologist or you're doing I don't know, doing a gourmet coffee or a massage, then that should not be replaced.
Do you think, if not replaced, used alongside of? I think today we're going to hear about how AI is incorporated into mental health and health in general. Do you think that robots or AI in general has a place everywhere, but it just is a limit to how much? Or do you think there's some places, something like therapy, for example, it's just not allowed to be inside the door?
Well, I think first of all, you have to separate between the robot and the AI. So the robot looks like something that is to us looks familiar or human or animal or whatever, and maybe we can relate to it easier than just relating to a screen or a voice. But then I think that the mental health, there's nothing wrong with AI. I think AI, the ChatGPT AI today is more human than human. It's the aggregation of all human knowledge into a single brain. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the psychology research now comes from AI because it's a good representative of what humans are.
That's interesting. How do you think, being a father yourself, AI should be used in education? Surely it's not to do your homework, but how do you think students, especially the younger generations who are just now learning how to use technology in general and then having AI sprung on them as well? When I was learning how to use a computer, it was just how to type. And now it's students learning how to use a computer and also this chat that talks back to you. How do you think students and educators and also parents should be navigating this new world?
So I'm very much in favor of using it around the clock because it's the ultimate teacher. So I was never a big proponent of a class sitting in front of a guy with a board. It doesn't really, I used to fall asleep doing that. So it doesn't, so I think that the fact that it's totally customized, but you need to learn to use it. So it's not just prompting, it's like working with it. It's a human, it's a very tolerant human, but it has a tendency to agree with you too much, and so all these little things need to be learned. But otherwise, it's the best tutor in the world. It's incredible. I mean, I come from an era where if you wanted to learn something about a random topic, you had to go to the library and then wait for the book. You had to write in the book of the library that you request that book and you wait for it, and then So it's really now. Then came internet and Wikipedia, and now AI. So I think it's incredible and also the breadth of things, meaning that if it takes you this much time to learn about some topic, I don't know, in biology, now you can actually do a lot more. So you can learn a lot more within the time constraints. And then for being prepared for exam or for doing an essay or whatever it is. But I think it gives you breadth more than and depth, whatever you want. But you can cover much more material.
That's really interesting. And my last question for you is, what industry or industries do you think will see the biggest move towards robotics and incorporating robots in day-to-day operations?
So the obvious things are, self-driving cars are very visible robots. And I will be very happy because I will give away my driver license. I hate driving, and I'll be very glad to get
Especially
a
in
self-driving.
Portugal.
And then, of course, in industrial application, for example, when you order something online, there are actually humans involved in that process to pick things from shelves or to put them in plastic bags or to, wrap them up, ship them, move them to the truck. All that operation where I work a lot in these operations can be, these are brain-numbing activities of moving stuff around, and it's not very. In fact, they get injured. People get injured because they have to walk 30 kilometers per day. So those are obvious places. I don't believe it's going to come into the home very fast because if you've watched Spider-Man, if you remember the young uncle,
Of course.
with a lot of power comes a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
Right? So the issue with having a very powerful robot at home that can do useful stuff, if he has a bug and does this and he breaks the whatever, that's uncalled for.
Yeah.
So I think it will take time to build that trust in the home. But I think for anything to do with moving things around, driving, that's happening now, and it's happening slower. The really interesting bit is an unobvious one, is the humanoid robots. Because the humanoids means that it's a general purpose machine. So imagine if you need a machine to transport boxes, or you need a machine to transport people, or you can basically use a humanoid robot in a versatile way to keep your machines, to keep your tractor and your car and your whatever airplane, but you put a humanoid brain in with the hands and gestures and feelings and everything. And so then it replaces the person. And if it costs like 25,000 euros and it works well, then why do you need so many machines? You have one machine that does it all.
Do you think then the claim that robots and AI are taking people's jobs, do you think that's a fair thing to say, or not really?
I think that you're finishing high school now and you're entering university. I would recommend you to stay beyond the first 3 or 4 years because it's going to be chaos. The workplace is going to be very difficult for juniors. And so you can wait out the storm by doing a PhD. Your parents will be happy and you'll have a safer future.
What do you think students my age and also a few years older, what do you think they should be doing to stand out so that the job workforce is not as competitive in that sense, especially for junior employees?
So I think one day your parents will have to pay for apprenticeship. So because the juniors will not be needed for a law firm, for programming, for engineering, for a lot of the stuff. So it will be a privilege to be able to work in a law firm. And so it's going to change. The laws are going to change to accommodate for this hyper efficiency. So if you think of a company that today has 50 employees and it produces X amount of revenue. So imagine now you can fire 15 employees and produce the same amount of revenue. Why keep those employees? So either you keep them, but you expect to grow the revenue, the productivity, so we can have a situation where X% of the population cannot find a new job because everybody will be slimming down. That's the issue. And it's a global, and the political world is not ready for that.
That's a lot to think about. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.